Hi, ladies, and welcome to the Her Show Home Experience Radio. I'm Trina Titus Lozano, and this is a book that my mother wrote. Debbie Titus is her name, and the book is the Home Experience book. You can get this at homeexperience.org. This is a handbook, and I'm the co-author, and it really is a handbook to making your home a place of love and peace. And I wrote 5 chapters in this book, and I'm talking about marriage and parenting and relationships within the home because, as my mom says, home is where the heart is formed. And I am right now on a parenting series, and I have 4 children and 11 grandchildren, and I want to talk about their hearts with you today, okay? We're forming their hearts, and we're raising them to be the next Christian generation. And a very startling, upsetting statistic is out of 10 children who are raised in Christian homes and attend church regularly with their parents, as adults, only 2 of them continue to be Christians. And 2 out of 10 is not enough. And we want all of our children to continue to be Christians. We want all of our children and our grandchildren that we are raising in the fear of the Lord, in wisdom and in knowledge. We want them to continue to be incredible people. And we really trust the Lord that as we train our children in a way that they should go, as Proverbs says, when they get old, they will not depart from it. And don't get too discouraged. Maybe they're just not old enough yet. Okay, so you stay consistent. So this series, the ABCs of Parenting, the absolute basic criteria for raising positive results, for getting positive results as you're raising your kids, the absolute basic criteria, the ABCs. And I want you to be able to watch all of these videos from A to Z and really get some insight and some principles to help you on this journey of your parenting. And I certainly enjoyed parenting with my 4 kids. I had girl, boy, and it was such a pleasure. And those years are over now, and they will be over someday. Your children will grow, and they will continue their lives and get married and have their own children, and the principles will be passed on, and there will be a season where your mothering will be concluded. You will always be a mom. You will have adults, and they are not adult children. That's an oxymoron. They are adult sons and daughters, and they will be raising their own children. But the principles remain the same, and you're really doing character development as you are training them. So today's letter is the letter E. I have chosen emotional intelligence and actually emotional intimacy as my E word, because it is very important that you connect on an emotional level with your children, okay? It is important that your children know how you feel. They need to know that you hurt also, and also that you have victories and you have failures and you have ups and downs in your life, and you did have when you were children, and you remember what it felt like to be a child, and now as an adult you have a different perspective. But you need to be able to have talks with them on an emotional level, not just about their schedule or their homework or their dinner or their chores, really to have some nice talks with them. In order for that to happen, you really need to set the atmosphere. And in the Home Experience book, we talk a lot about setting the atmosphere, setting the table and having meals together at the table so that you can have eye-to-eye, face-to-face conversations with them. And when you set the table and you have a home made meal and you're eating in your home, there should be an atmosphere of peace, so that this is a time where you can have really great conversations at the dinner table. You can have great conversations right before bedtime. You can have great conversations in the car, and it's important that you keep the noise off so that conversations will happen. If you always have the kids on a screen, if they're always watching movies in the car, things like this, it doesn't give you an opportunity to have the conversations. Or if you're on the phone, or if they're on the phones in the car, you're not getting this quality time to have conversation, really intimate conversations. In fact, it is a statistically proven fact that if teenagers are really having trouble, if you spend some time talking to them about their childhood, talking to them about how wonderful it was when you found out you were pregnant with them, how excited you were on the day that they were born, how amazing it was for you to rock them to sleep and to read them stories at night. And when you have these types of conversations with them, it actually really heals the heart of a teenager that can be experiencing really difficult times. Also, if you will spend some time, no matter what age your child is, talking to them about when you were that age. Not in the way of, well, when I was that age, I didn't disrespect my parents the way you disrespect me. Not in that kind of a way. In a kind of way that says, you know what? When I was your age, I remember when somebody was bullying me too. I remember being on the bus and they made fun of my pigtails. I remember them making fun of the gap in my front teeth. I remember being made fun of. That really hurts. It hurts you and it hurt me, and you're going to get through this. I got through it and you're going to get through it too. So when you talk to them on this emotional level, this is going to help build this bond and this emotional connection with them, okay? So let them share with you their feelings, and don't always try to correct them. Don't always give them instruction and correction about the way they should be thinking or feeling, but just be a good listener and listen to how they're feeling, because kids have a lot going on these days, especially with COVID. They've got some real serious fears. And they've got some real serious issues that they are dealing with. Socializing is very difficult. Kids are mean these days. There's always been times when kids have been mean. And you just want your child to be able to come to you, and you want to be able to have empathy and to really identify with them. So also, let's think about emotional intelligence, EQ. Emotional intelligence. There is actually 4 steps to emotional intelligence, and I talk about it in the Home Experience book. But to have a high EQ, there's 4, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are sequential. Number 1, self-awareness. 2, self-management. 3, social awareness. And 4, relationship management. We want to be able to manage the relationships with our children. But if we don't have the 3 things that are before that, we're not going to have a relationship to manage. So number 1, you've got to have self-awareness as a mother. Look at yourself. See if you are doing what you're telling your kids to do. If you're telling your kids to sit up straight and to have a good attitude, you know what? Are you sitting up straight? Are you having a good attitude? Be honest with yourself about that. If you tell your kids, stop procrastinating, get your work done before you play. Well, I got to ask you, are you getting your work done before you play? You know, have this self-awareness that you make sure that you are doing what you're telling your kids to do, okay? If you're telling them, stop talking disrespectfully to me, okay, ask yourself, are you talking disrespectfully to them? Okay, this is what self-awareness is. And once you take a look at this, one way that you'll know, and I challenge you to do this, moms, is have a really personal conversation with your kids and ask them, how am I doing as a mom? Am I yelling? Am I making you feel bad? Am I shaming you? Am I making you feel like you're unloved at any point? Because I love you so much and I'm really sorry when I get frustrated and I yell. Will you please forgive me? Give them an opportunity to tell you how you're doing, okay? When you get that feedback, that's valuable information. It's going to make you closer, and you're modeling what it means to be a teachable person. The number 2 is self-management. As you are honest with yourself about how you're doing, and you have this self-awareness, then that's when you've got to really have some self-control and manage yourself. If your kids say, Mom, you yell all the time, you and Dad fight all the time, you're angry all the time, and you always make me feel bad. It's like you're always mad at me. I feel like I'm always in trouble. Okay, so this is feedback, and then you can have self-management. Make sure that you make the adjustments so that you grow as a parent, because you can be a better mom tomorrow than you were today, and better than you were yesterday. Like, let's just keep improving and growing, and tell your kids that you also want to become a better mother all the time. So you want them to become better kids, and you want to become a better mother as well. Okay, number 3 is social awareness. That means that you are aware of what you are doing, let me just say it this way. You're aware of how your behavior is affecting others. So what you're doing is affecting others, and you want to see how that's happening. Sorry for getting tongue-tied there. But yeah, you have to take an honest assessment. your behavior is affecting others. Are you drinking too much alcohol? Because when you drink alcohol, maybe that's making you very irritable. Maybe that's making you angry. Maybe you're having outbursts of anger when you're drinking. Like, have this social awareness and see how your behavior affects your children and be honest about it. When you're honest about it, now we're really getting somewhere, because now we can have relationship management. When you talk to your kids about your emotional intelligence and then you actually model for them what it means to have a high EQ and to improve their social awareness as well, and then they can go through these steps to have better emotional intelligence themselves. Now we've got some close relationships that we can manage. And relationships have to be managed, right? All the way from the womb to the tomb, relationships have to be managed at all times. So that's what today is all about. I think a scripture that is a wonderful one is Ephesians 5:15 and 16. Look carefully how you walk. Live purposefully and worthily and accurately, not as the unwise and witless, but as wise, sensible, intelligent people, making the very most of the time, buying up every opportunity, because the days are evil. Look, that's Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 and 16. Let's be very intentional about emotional intelligence and emotionally connecting with our children today. Thank you so much for joining me for the E is for emotional intelligence and emotional intimacy. It's been a pleasure. I'm Trina Titus Lozano, pastoral counselor and licensed and ordained Christian minister, and I'm here to help you every Friday morning on Life Network for Women. So thank you, Paula, and this is a wonderful sisterhood. I really appreciate being part of this network. God bless you today. Hugs and high fives. Bye-bye.